contrasts and contradictions. Amidst the gleaming skylines and bustling market, a dark and sinister trade thrives in the shadows. The world of sex work, the trade in human lives. In the underbelly of society, beyond the glitz and glamour, lies a stark reality caused sex slavery. Behind the facade of desire and transactional exchanges, lives are often shattered, dreams prolonged, and souls scared. In the shadows of Abuja's thriving economy, countless women turn to sex work as a means of survival. They come from all walks of life. Some are single mothers struggling to feed their children. Others are victims of trafficking, enticed by false promises of a better life. Their dreams of a better life shattered by the brutal reality of exploitation and abuse. They wanted to escape poverty. They fell prey to sex traffickers. Despite the risks and stigma, these women continue to brave the street night after night, their bodies becoming battlegrounds in the war against poverty and inequality.
We are not criminals or sinners. We are just trying to make a living like everyone else. People judge us without knowing our stories. They don't see the desperation that drives us to this work. They promised me a job and a chance to support my family. But when I arrived in Abuja, everything changed. I was just a child when they took me. They threatened to hurt my family if I tried to escape. Out here, you have to be tough. You never know who you're going to meet or what they might do to you. It's a constant battle to stay safe and avoid trouble. But we do what we have to do to survive.
Some of these women are so poor, they charge 5,000 naira for sex at about $3.59. Despite the dangers, many are driven to the street by economic necessity, with few opportunities for employment and limited social support. They turn to sex work as a means of survival. Trapped in the nightmare of violence and coercion, these women and girls are forced to sell their bodies to line the pocket of their captors.
I have children to feed and bills to pay. This is the only way I can make enough money to survive. It's not easy, but I have to do what I can to provide for myself and my family.
They wanted to escape poverty. Instead, they fell prey to sex traffickers. On the streets of Abuja, sex workers face a myriad of risks, from harassment and violence, death to arrest and discrimination.
Only by shining a light in the darkest corners of society can we hope to end the scourge of sex slavery in Abuja and beyond.
I have handled, if I'm not mistaken, 4 or 5 cases, even with the social development, social works departments here in Abuja, and we've had several of those cases where young ladies have been brought in from other states into Abuja with the promise of, like I said before, job, and then only for them to come and they find out that they are being used to either service some of these older men, younger men, and it will shock you to know that some of them even with animals. So I don't know what they use them for, sleeping with animals, but it's all part of money generation for them. And then it's so surprising because it comes from even their own. It comes from the women themselves who bring in these girls to do such kind of acts, and then they use them. They don't even take care of them. The money they generate, they don't see it. They are not even being. They don't have access to that money. It is their madam that whatever she wants to now share with them that gives to them. As women or young women, when you go out there to look for a job, when you go out there to look for something to earn a living, you are faced with the maybe patriarchal nature of the country, where the men are dominating everywhere, and before they give you an access to something, they will not. Trust me, in Abuja, so many things are ongoing, and for you to have a livelihood, so many women go out of their way to exchange sex for job, sex for money, sex for just to get something. Definitely it is a form of slavery. As citizens of these countries, we should not be subjected to some kind of harsh treatment, but we find ourselves being abused in so many ways, and you find yourself in some situations that you have to either compromise or you are faced with the hardship. And sometimes you see what also comes up is the issue of complex. A lot of ladies would not want to be, so many of my mates, the comparison part of it. So many of my friends or so many of my mates, like, they use the cliches, are this or are that, have this car, have this house and all that. So such kind of pressure too wants to put you under that mental slavery as well. So we on our own, apart from the society putting us under as slaves, we on our own to put ourselves under that circumstances, under that making ourselves slaves for this menace that we see in the society today.
In the shadows of society's gaze, women who work in Abuja's sex trade navigate a perilous landscape where safety hangs in the balance and vulnerability is a constant companion. Behind closed doors, their stories unfold, revealing a reality fraught with danger and uncertainty.
Safety was always a concern. You never knew who you would encounter, what they were capable of. We were left to fend for ourselves in an unforgiving world. It's hard to put into words the toll it takes on you. Every encounter chips away at your sense of self-worth, leaving you feeling hollow and broken. For women in sex trade, safety is not just about physical protection but also encompasses psychological well-being, access to healthcare, and the ability to assert their rights.
Many of the sex workers and trafficked girls that come for consultations suffer from bleeding, pain, and infections. And then there are the emotional wounds. These women are very wounded. They are carrying a huge burden. Even if they appear normal and greet you cheerfully, there's a part of them that's deeply sad. They suffer lifelong nightmares. It's like something's broken inside. They're no longer willing to commit to a relationship. They don't trust anyone, and certainly not men. It's a destruction of the female soul. I believe it's not just the sex traffickers who are to blame, but also those who pay for the women's services. I think you have to approach the clients so that they realize what they are doing. That if they go to these places, they think about the emotional wrecks they leave behind. These women aren't machines. It's not just a bit of fun. You're inflicting damage. And it's not voluntary. They're basically allowing themselves to be raped for money.
Across the world, and Abuja is not left out. Now we know that we have cartels where people pimp up and disguise as people coming to help girls, even young boys, because when we talk about sex slavery or sex trafficking, the first thing that comes to mind is girls, the girl child. But really, boys are also going through this. And because we have a culture of shushing young men and asking them to be strong, downplaying their emotions, we do not hear that we have young boys who are trafficked for this purpose. Now, for some people, it's just the fun of it. They have a lot of money already, and then they are just trying to explore their curiosity, and so they are not necessarily interested in having sex, being the rapist this time, but they enjoy watching the action to help them get their ego boost. For other people, they get into this because of course, we know that hurt people hurt others, or hurting people hurt others. So it's their way of paying back the world for hurting them, and then nobody stood up for them. I don't know if there are positives. Of course, the positives will possibly be for the cartel who make it a business, and then the negatives are the emotional, psychological trauma it causes on the trauma it causes on the survivors or victims, whichever way you put it. Yeah.
We cannot turn a blind eye to the suffering of these women and girls. We must do everything in our power to end this modern-day slavery. The safety of women in sex slavery must be a priority. We need policies and practices that empower them, provide resources for protection, and ensure their voices are heard. Building trust is key. By providing a safe space for women to access support services, we can help them navigate the challenges they face and build a brighter future for themselves.
Menace in society, the first thing is to break the circle. Now, we have people who have experienced this and somehow they got saved. When you go through pain and you wish the same pain on others, you're not helping the world. And the most important thing is that you heal. For those who already got salvation, you owe yourself to heal, love yourself so that you can extend this love to the world. Now, raise awareness, just like we're doing with this project. We're raising awareness. We're saying that this kind of thing exists. So if you think it is far from you, it could be happening to the person beside you. Also, it's important to hold traffickers accountable. I do know that as a country, we have laws, but maybe application of these laws or consequences, holding people, making sure that perpetrators are brought to book is where we have a little bit of challenge.
Collaborative efforts between law enforcement, social services, and community organizations are essential in addressing the root causes of exploitation and creating a safer environment for women in sex slavery. As we shine a light on the safety of women in sex slavery, we must confront the systemic inequalities and societal attitudes that perpetuate their vulnerability.
Sex for money is not a means to an end. And I want to employ and encourage every young lady to get either a soft skill or a hard skill, and something that you have passion in, so that you do it well with passion, and then it will yield positive results for you. And well, you'll be consistent in it with patience and perseverance. I believe the sky will not just be your limit, but your starting point.
For many, prostitution is not a choice, but a desperate last resort, driven by circumstances beyond their control. In the shadows of Abuja, their voices may be silenced, but their resilience speaks volumes. They are more than their circumstances. They are survivors, warriors of the night. For every life touched by prostitution, there is a story of resilience, courage, and the enduring human spirit.